Quiet people are not waiting for the right moment to speak. The harsh truth is, most of the time, the moment is already gone before they even decide. And this is what actually happens between your thoughts and your silence. You are standing near the edge of a crowded room. Someone laughs too loudly at a story you didn't hear from the start. Behind you, a chair scrapes against the floor. You actually already formed a response to something said seconds ago. But the conversation has moved 3 turns ahead. Your sentence no longer fits the space it was meant for. There is a reason your silence feels automatic in moments like this. It is not your personality. It is your timing under pressure. Stay with this for a moment, without trying to correct it in your head, because it usually starts much earlier than people notice. You are standing in a loud, crowded room. Music is pumping, and everyone around you is caught up in their own laughter. Suddenly, someone turns toward you, looks you dead in the eye, and says, "Why are you so quiet?" In that exact second, time freezes. Your brain goes into overdrive. You are scrambling for the perfect response, searching so fast that the words cannot even form on your tongue. You open your mouth to speak, but then you don't. And that one split second of hesitation steals your chance to break into the conversation, right before you could even decide if you wanted to join. Only one bitter thought is left in your mind. They already decided what I am. But the truth is, you were never late. The room was just moving too fast. And that is only what it looks like from the outside. The two of them keep talking right over you. Not a single person notices that your sentence was left unfinished. This world always prioritizes visible noise over deep internal processing. Because of that, your input gets filtered out before it even has a chance to prove its relevance. You stay silent longer than you intended, not because you have nothing to say, but because you realize this moment isn't passing you by. It is actively ignoring you. A bitter thought creeps in. If I actually mattered, I would be heard. But remember this, being quiet is not the same as being absent, because inside you, something else is running. When you hear a joke, a sharp opinion, or a sudden contradiction, you don't react right away. People think you're slow, but the truth is, your brain is running a massive multi-layer process. It is breaking down the meaning, the tone, the risk, and the perfect timing all at once. You actually already have an answer. It's just that answer isn't ready to survive a room full of snap judgments. This delay isn't a lack of thought. It is the weight of deep processing. Because from the very beginning, speed was never your priority. There are too many angles to consider before it feels safe to speak. But that careful, quiet delay is exactly what changes how the world treats you. Before you even have a chance to speak, the topic has already changed. In social interactions, immediacy is rewarded, but accuracy is not. This world does not pause to wait for a perfect answer. People assume your delay means you are detached, and they decide that you simply don't want to participate. Because of that, you lose your opportunity to speak without ever being explicitly rejected. You are left with a quiet, hollow feeling. They moved on before I even arrived. The room keeps going without waiting for you. And to survive, you have to start changing your behavior. You form a complete thought in your mind, but then you decide to keep it to yourself. You stop speaking not out of fear, but because of a cold calculation of the cost. Your brain has learned a bitter lesson. Speaking up late creates social friction, and that friction is worse than staying quiet. You do not lose your words. You simply stop releasing them. Because of this, your silence becomes a deliberate strategy, not your natural personality. Your internal world grows sharper and clearer, while your external expression fades away. You tell yourself, "It is easier to stay quiet than to arrive late." Silence was never your default state. It is your adaptation to survive. You are sitting in a meeting, and you already see the final outcome long before the discussion even ends. Your mind completes the full evaluation before the group can even form a consensus. But because you process things so deeply, by the time your conclusion arrives, the window to speak has already closed. You realize a bitter truth. I saw it early. That was the problem. The truth is, you were never slow to think. Silence is not missing speech. It is delayed precision. You were never behind. You don't speak late. You think earlier than the room can follow. And that realization changes everything about how silence feels. Silence is what happens when your thinking arrives a step ahead, long before the world can find the words to use. You are not the person who says less. You are the person who finishes thinking before the room finishes talking. Because some thoughts do not disappear. They just leave the room on their own. Think of the last time you stayed silent. What part of your thought didn't get a place to land? If this reflects your experience, you will recognize what comes next without being told. The room didn't miss your voice. It missed the version of you that already left it.